What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, August 10th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller. It is, of course, a Whitta Wednesday on a Tuesday. How are you, Rogue One, at Gary Whitta?
I'm good. I'm ready. I know nothing about what's happening in the world of video game news today. I didn't see anything popping off yesterday. I didn't get a chance to check any news this morning. So whatever you come at me with this morning news-wise is going to be the most knee-jerk, reflexive, like hottest of fresh out of the microwave hot takes. The zero deliberation or thought put into these takes. So I think it's going to be a good one.
I like that you just clear your mind and you fire the mechanism. Shout out, of course, to Mike Clancy right below you, Gary. You have your own brand new Whitta Wednesday on a Tuesday logo. So thank you.
I thought that was a kind of funny best friends. What an incredible source of free content they are. Always coming up with good stuff.
Yeah.
I did. I saw Mike
just so
tagged all
talented.
three of us in on Twitter this morning with a new logo. I thought it was very good.
It is very good.
Whitta Wednesday on a Tuesday is taking off.
It is. I agree. These are things we could put on shirts. You know what I mean? It's about time, I say, Kevin.
I mean, I feel like there should be more Whitta related shirts in the Kind of Funny merch store.
I won't sell well.
I don't know why you don't have more of
You
those.
do on
I
Patreon,
provide you with all of these amazing memes and viral moments, and you should be monetizing them and also kicking some of it back to me.
Wow.
No, well, that's not going to happen. Here's the thing right now, Gary, that we need to address, all right? When we were getting ready to do the show, Kevin did the thing Kevin does where he forgot Barrett's name. And then I did.
Did I?
The name song, the Fee Fi Moba Banana Mana Foba Me Ma Mo Barrett. And then I said, is that something the kids still do? And you said, Gary, you've never heard of it, which is understandable.
No, I've heard of it, but only in like American movies and TV shows and stuff since I've been out here. I never heard it in the UK. I don't think it's a thing in where I'm from.
That's fine. But you have an American child now. Does your daughter she's never sang this song at a school? You've never been at a school function? They're on the playground. You've never heard them do this?
No, I don't think so. And she's picked up all kinds of little, schoolyard memes and games and songs and things like that. But like I said, I have heard it. I've heard it like, on TV.
Sure.
But I've never heard it like real kids doing it. No.
Kevin, you're aware of the song I'm talking about, right? Because in the thing, Altered Rain.
I don't even know what the hell. When did I forget Barrett's name?
Earlier, when you couldn't remember the kid, you were like the guy who makes the music. And when Gary was asking about the music that was playing on Twitch, you're like, I didn't do that. That other
oh, got it. Yeah, you're right.
And I was like, Barrett did it. And you're like, yeah, Barrett. I was. Yeah.
Got it. You're right.
You remember the song though, right? Kev, forget about the Barrett part of it.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Fana, faux ferret, me, my, mo, Barrett.
So you might interpret that as Kevin being like scatterbrained or whatever, or absent-minded, but it's actually not. I actually think it's a very, very subtle, clever, passive-aggressive way of just reminding Barrett and everyone else at Kind of Funny whose names he forgets that they are that to him. They are nothing. They're so meaningless to him that he can't even doesn't even make any bandwidth in his brain to remember their names.
It's early onset, you know what I mean? Terrified.
I mean that could be a factor, yeah.
It's the name game according to kidsongs.com.
What's the song? Do it again. I don't think I've ever heard this.
You'd go like, I'm reading off of, this is factual, and this is off of kidsongs.com. We'd be like, Katie, Bo Beatty, Banana Fana, Fofady, me, my, Mo Beatty, Katie. Now come on, everybody.
I know I've heard it like on a TV show, like with kids in it or whatever, in a movie or something. I don't remember what specifically it was.
Man, there's like, I don't know. This is okay here. Because it's like Shawnee and then it's Katie. And then there's a whole verse here in the middle I've never heard of. I'm going to do it live. All right. Now, come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. But a B of an F or an M will appear. And then say Bo, add a B, and then I say the name. Then Bonana... Nana, Fana, and Fo. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, and a
I've got some real live kid feedback from you. My wife is watching the show right now. She just asked our daughter about it, and apparently she looked at her like she was nuts.
Yeah.
So she's never heard of it. And that's an actual kid who lives in the real world of kids.
For the record, this is not me saying kids today should know this song. I'm aware I was one of this last vestige of kids where parents and adults were just like, there is nothing for them to fucking do Send them out into the backyard, give them rocks and sticks, and let them be Ninja Turtles. And here's a bunch of dumb nursery rhymes and songs. Kids today got it made in the shade. You're bored.
A lot of this stuff doesn't persist, though.
Dinner, they just give you an iPhone and they say, watch Raffy Tales or whatever the fuck cartoons.
You can't do that. You got to fight that urge, Greg. You got to fight that urge. I'm
going to fight it fine, but even then, they're going to have toys. They're going to have coloring books. They're going to have audio books. They're going to have books that are just normal books. And that's the thing. In the chat, they're screaming Bluey. Now, you've talked about this Bluey guy too, right, Gary?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is Bluey? Is he the new Raffy?
That's it.
It's Bandit. That's Bluey's dad right there. I got the whole set, but the Bandit's the only one they've got within reach of me right now. Best show on television. Certainly the best kid show on television.
Bluey's a girl, Greg.
Yeah, that's right.
Bluey's so get your gendered ideas out of here.
Sorry, my apologies, everybody. Kevin, how do you know so much about Bluey?
Oh, the chat just told me, and I believe them blindly.
Okay.
All hail chat.
Speaking of chat, they're here to see us talk about video games. Let's talk about Activision Blizzard shareholders being mad. The fact that there might be, according to Imran Khan the Don, a new Xenoblade Chronicles coming, and the fact that PAX Australia has been canceled. They say postponed, but you understand. We'll talk about all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show at patreon.com/kindafunnygames. On patreon.com/kindafunnygames, you can write in to be part of the show. You can be a Patreon producer. You can get the show ad-free. You can get the show with the exclusive post show we do each and every weekday. And of course, you can get those benefits for the Kinda Funny podcast, the Gamescast, and everything else. You could be watching us record the Kinda Funny podcast live this afternoon, all on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. Go to youtube.com/kindafunnygames, roosterteeth.com, podcast services around the globe each and every weekday to get a brand spanking new episode. What's that? You want it even fresher than that? You can watch us record it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, just like Frankfurter is. Lucy James Games. Jesus, what time is it in the UK right now, Gary?
We'll be 8 hours ahead. It'll probably be about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, that's fine. Then I thought it was later than that. Miss Envy. Of course, if you're watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screwed up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later. Housekeeping for you. There's a brand new PS I Love You XOXO live right now on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, podcast services around the globe. We're talking PSVR 2. We're talking the future of Ghost of Tsushima. And of course, we're talking about what we've been playing, which includes a whole bunch of cool indies you need to hear about. Beyond that, thank you to our Patreon producer, Blackjack. Today we're brought to you by Freshly, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. For some news.
Baker's dozen.
We're going to start over at Axios, where Megan Farokhmanesh, they got that wrong. I know how to say Megan's name. Hold on. Farokhmanesh is talking about Activision shareholders being pissed off, Gary. Investment group SOC says that Activision Blizzard's recent promises to improve its culture do not go, quote, nearly far enough to address the deep and widespread issues with equity, inclusion, and human capital management, end quote, that the company is facing. Of course, if you've never read Axios, Megan and Steven are doing great work over there, and I love the way they break stuff down. So this is just reading straight from their site. You should all go check it out. But what I like is they go, why it matters. In addition to being an Activision Blizzard shareholder, SOC advocates for ethical business practices and is outspoken on topics like pay gaps between executives and workers. A letter from SOC executive director Dieter Weisenegger, shared exclusively with Axios, reads, no changes have been announced or proposed that would in any way alter the current process for filling vacancies, either to the board of directors or to senior management. No changes have been announced with respect to executive pay, either with respect to clawing back compensation from executives who are found to have engaged in or enabled abusive practices, or to align executives with equity goals Kotick articulated. Of course, talking about CEO Bobby Kotick. Still going on from the letter here from Dieter. The announced review by Wilmer Hale, which of course is that thing they're bringing in to do this, and they're also the law firm that's like squashing unions and all this shit. Wilmer Hale is deficient in a number of ways. This firm has a sterling reputation as a defender of the wealthy and connected, but it has no track record of uncovering wrongdoing. The lead investigator does not have in-depth experience investigating workplace harassment and abuse, and the scope of the investigation fails to address the full range of equity issues Mr. Kotick acknowledges, end quote. Back to Megan. SOC is calling on Activision Blizzard to make the following changes. Increase board diversity and equity by adding a woman director, preferably one with a history of advocacy for marginalized people and communities, by the end of 2021. Committing to gender balance on the board by 2025, and reserving at least one board seat for a nominee selected by current employees as their representative. Next bullet point is this: claw back bonuses from executives found to have engaged in or enabled abusive behavior, award no bonuses for 2021, and make future bonus awards contingent on the company as a whole achieving clearly articulated and independently verified milestones for diversity and equity. And your third bullet point: undertake a company-wide equity review, similar to the racial equity reviews that Facebook, Airbnb, Starbucks, and BlackRock have completed as promised, but that will encompass the full range of concerns, parentheses, including inequities rooted in gender, gender identity, sexuality, and race, articulated by Mr. Kotick. Activision and Blizzard employees and customers, equity and representation issues in game design, the development process, and in user forums in similar settings. Axios, what's next? Although CEO Bobby Kotick has promised that Activision Blizzard will be the company that sets the example for this in our industry, employees and industry observers remain skeptical. Quote, at this critical juncture in Activision Blizzard's history, we urge you and the board to push beyond the inadequate response from management and take the steps necessary to protect our investment from the financial, operational, and reputational risks that have come to the fore over the past week, Dieter says. Gary, every time you come through, there's a new update in the Activision Blizzard thing. You always get a good chance to get a spirited rant in. I feel like this is, as we talked about last week and we talked about the week before, the kind of stuff you actually need to see change at Activision Blizzard, right? You need the shareholders upset. You need people who have skin in the game to be trying to lean on Activision Blizzard to be better.
Yeah, all of those shareholder demands that you just laid out, I think, sound very reasonable. And if not a complete solution, because, you know, a company culture as deeply damaged and toxic as the one at Activision Blizzard isn't going to be fixed overnight by just any one list of demands. It is at least the beginning of change and repair and detoxifying, however you want to call it, like getting the company kind of righting the ship and getting it back to being a place where, you know, you can be happy and proud to work and not ashamed to say you work there, or not feel sullied by your association with it, or even playing the games. A lot of people aren't even comfortable playing the games or reporting on the games these days. We've seen player boycotts. We've seen media outlet boycotts, and there's a big, another discussion about whether or not that's helpful or appropriate. But leaving that to one side, what I do think is that the media boycotts and the player boycotts and things like that, those kind of things can take a long time to be effective, right? Because if I say I'm going to cancel my World of Warcraft subscription, or I'm going to stop playing, I'm not going to play Call of Duty this year, or I'm a media outlet and I'm not going to cover Activision Blizzard, that's the kind of stuff that only works if a lot of people do that. And we've seen before that player boycotts, often players don't follow through. I think we all remember the Call of Duty boycott from several years ago, where there was like this viral image that went around of like, there was a Steam group, boycott Call of Duty over these changes. This was like not even to do with toxicity. It was just like in-game stuff. They didn't like how many bullets were in some particular gun or some stupid shit, but they were all going to boycott the game over it. And like hundreds of thousands of people were in this Steam group. And we could go to the Steam group and see what they were doing. They were all fucking playing Call of Duty. So they weren't, so like the whole, even the boycott group was kind of exposing itself as not actually following through on its boycott. And so I think player boycotts can be ineffective. Media boycotts, we don't really know what difference they can make. As I've said a million times before, the boycotting and the demands and the complaints that will make a difference are the financial economic ones that can show up immediately. Shareholders, stock price falling, sponsors pulling out. We've seen all of these things happen recently, right? You have like this trifecta of bullshit for Bobby Kotick right now. You've got a shareholder revolt, you've got the stock price dropping like a stone, and you've got major corporate sponsors pulling out of their flagship events. All of that is a big fucking headache for Kotick, and it should be. He deserves it. He's brought all of this on himself. and on this company. And employees have been suffering for years. Now it's time for Activision's bottom line and for Kotick and the people that wrought this situation to fucking reap what they sow. I still think, and I'm surprised that it wasn't there, that on that list of shareholder demands should be Kotick's head on a plate. The interesting thing was he was vulnerable even before this. Remember recently, before even the toxic stuff came to the surface, he was in the news again. I'm sure you must have covered it. I don't think it was here this day, but I'm sure you must have covered it, where Kotick barely squeaked by some massive multi-million-dollar share bonus he wanted to give himself. And the shareholders complained about that. And it was only after various machinations, like 54% or so, he was able to get just enough votes to give himself a massive, massive multi-million-dollar windfall. But the shareholders clearly weren't happy about that either, just based on the fact that I think Activision's kind of largely stagnating as a company. Shareholders aren't necessarily happy with, the way he's been guiding the ship. So he was already vulnerable. And you put this on top. I'm actually amazed that he's even still there. He's never going to resign. I think he's that kind of person. But I still think the situation can worsen and come to a head where his resignation, where again, the only people that can demand it, players can't demand it, the people that hold the purse strings, the shareholders, the people whose money props up the company, they can demand it. And I think if we see enough action on that front, we might actually see, again, what would be at the top of my list, that list of demands that you laid out. I think they all sound great and very reasonable, and they should all be enacted. But number one should be Kotick gone out of the company and replaced by someone new with a better resume, better suited to handle riding the ship. Because I've said it a million times, you do not ask the person who burned down the house to rebuild it. Kotick burned down this house. He's got to go. Only, I think, in his absence, in a post-Kotick era, can Activision both inwardly and outwardly, both in terms of the substance and the optics, begin to repair its desperately, desperately damaged reputation.
And again, it's what, I know we've covered this so much, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it is, the mainstream breaking through. It is what we're talking about with stock prices, right? If you look right now over on the NASDAQ, Activision Blizzard is at $83.14. That is down 10.52% over the past month. If you wanted to step back past 6 months, that's down 19.10%. And so again, even when you look at it, right, you talked about it, on the downswing, right? You can look back at the past 5 days, it's up a bit, and there's, how macro you want to get with it, but you're still looking at $83 today, right, versus when it was on Monday, July 26th at $90, $91 on the Friday before that. You can see the trend of this and what this news is, and it's how long does it stay down there, and how much does it go any lower than that, and what happens when they do inevitably announce the next Call of Duty. Does that spike it back up, and then is everybody fine? And I'm saying everybody being a person on Wall Street, number cruncher person, right? The people who are the shareholders of Activision, are they just all fine with it? What happens with it then? And then is this all pretty much forgotten? And then it's something, just the inside mainstream people are like us are talking about.
I don't think Kotick will go, but I do think that if he has to stay, they can at least, again, really, really hold his feet to the fire and demand that these changes be made. The status quo clearly at this point is not sustainable. The government's involved. Shareholders are revolting. The sponsors are pulling out. The ship is taking on so much water right now.
But here's my thing: is I want to stop you because I don't think it's that bad yet, and I wish it was. I wish what you were saying was the thing. I wish shareholders were revolting. I wish all the sponsors were stepping away. Right? We had kindoffunny.com/you're who was the big sponsor that stepped out, but then the next week it was State Farm and Coke were addressing the situation. Oh, Verizon, right? Verizon actually bounced on Overwatch League. State Farm and Coke are like, no, we'll wait and see where blah blah blah. Here we're doing this article again from Megan Farokhmanesh. I know how to say Megan's name, and I bricked it twice. Sorry, at Axios, right? Who's out here talking about this one group, investment group SOC, but I don't know how big of an investment group SOC is. All right, I don't know how much they actually speak for with shareholders and stock people.
I mean, a lot of what happens with
T-Mobile, not Verizon. God damn it! Sorry, everybody.
A lot of what happens with the sponsors as well, though, is them just kind of covering their ass while this is in the front window, right? It's like we saw it with the with the kind of the political donors, the big corporate donors that said, oh, we're not going to donate anymore to the politicians who supported the January 6th insurrection. They did that, but then they very quietly kind of snuck back in once they thought no one was looking anymore. A lot of this is just like, and I think they have these conversations behind the scenes. Listen, we need to pull our sponsorship money now while the heat is on, but let's wait for, the public to get distracted by the next bright, shiny object, and then we'll like quietly sneak back in. So I think that will probably happen as well. Just come back to the original point that the only thing that is ever going to convince Kotick and the senior management at Activision to change is the threat of losing money. They're never ever going to do it
out of the kindness
out of a sense of like, we need to be good people, we need to create a better environment for our employees, we need to do the right thing. Though the people that run Activision don't have that in them. Like there's something missing in them. Some piece of their brain or their heart is missing where they just don't give a shit about other people or doing the right thing. They only care about money. There are scientific studies out there that demonstrate this idea that the richer you become, the more empathy you lose. And this is why we see Bezos flying around in a giant fucking space dick while, there are serious problems here on Earth that he could be addressing but chooses not to with his infinite money cheat code. He'd rather just, glorify himself. And we see this all the time with people at the top of the financial, economic, social food chain. You get to a certain point where you just stop giving a shit about other people. And it's a real shame. And again, so the only way to bring these people back down to earth is to threaten the one thing that they care about, which is their own personal enrichment and wealth.
Agreed. So yeah, we'll continue to monitor the situation. Hope they continue to reap what they sow in terms of how Activision Blizzard's over there. Number 2 on the Roper Report, let's talk about another Xenoblade Chronicles. We're going to go to the one, the only, the Don, Imran Khan over at Fanbyte, who writes, in June of this year, a Xenoblade fan held a particularly significant interview with actress Jenna Coleman. Coleman, who's primarily known for her roles on Doctor Who and the soap opera Emmerdale, was also Milia in the first Xenoblade Chronicles over a decade ago. She appeared in a video chat with YouTube channel Din's Meteorite, a smaller gaming channel with around 33 subscribers, to talk about, and I laughed because that's awesome she went and did that, to talk about several subjects, including her time spent on Xenoblade Chronicles and the recent expanded Switch remastered Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. While the interview was published 2 months ago, it only recently caught the notice of social media, in large part because of an accidental slip of the tongue from Coleman. Musing about her first role in Xenoblade Chronicles, Coleman said, quote, "God, when was the first game? 10 years ago? It was a long time ago. I did it pre-Doctor Who days, and when they did the second one, they asked me to come back. And I think they're going to do another." Coleman paused. Common knowledge? Don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to do another. Not sure if I'm allowed to say that, end quote. Coleman's quote has caused rumors to stir over the weekend of a new Xenoblade Chronicles currently in development. According to our sources here at Fanbyte, we can indeed confirm that to be the case. Moreover, the game is nearing its final stages of development, but its release date may be held back for any number of reasons. The third Xenoblade Chronicles game in development at Monolith Soft is a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, currently the best-selling game in the series. The ending of the trilogy takes place in the far-flung future, with a few returning characters who have long outlived their human counterparts from both Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is why Coleman, who plays Milia, would be aware of a third game, as her character is returning, and she more than likely has recorded voice acting for it. According to our sources, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was set to be revealed earlier this year, but may still be announced before the end of the calendar year, but has had a difficult time with pandemic development and optimizing the game for the Switch. The game is aiming for more character models on screen at once than any previous title, accounting for both playable characters and enemies. This shouldn't come as a galloping shock, as Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition expanded content was titled Future Connected, indicating that Monolith Soft was looking forward to the future of the series. If all goes well, the game could be released as soon as the first half of next year, delayed from its original and now exceedingly unlikely winter 2021 target. As always, things can change, and no in-development game should be considered as a guarantee to be exactly the same or as described, or even see release. Gary, you ever play Xenoblade Chronicles?
Okay, so I wasn't strictly speaking miles away while you were talking about that, but as soon as I became aware that you were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles, a game that I know nothing about and have no interest in, I did also get a notification on Steam that a game I had wishlisted, Lawn Mowing Simulator, just became available today. So while you were talking, I was like kind of half listening, but I was also downloading Lawn Mowing Simulator in the background.
Sure.
So it's currently at 36%. So I don't know anything about Xenoblade Chronicles. I know lots of people like it. I do know who Jenna Coleman is. I do know that she used to be on Doctor Who. I didn't know she used to be on Emmerdale, which, interesting fact, when I was a kid, used to be called Emmerdale Farm. And at some point they changed it because I think they were trying to make the show like more sexy, like more like a glamorous.
Yeah, get
like,
it off the farm.
Like you go, like how glamorous can a soap opera be if it's set on a farm? So they took
100%.
the farm part of it out to try and make it seem like it could be a bit more glamorous. And they did. They brought in all kinds of like glamorous actors and stuff like that. Maybe Jenna Coleman was part of that effort. I don't know. She's quite glamorous. Anyway, sorry. I feel like I'm talking about everything but Xenoblade Chronicles to cover for the fact that I know very little about it. I don't know. Should I be playing it? Should I play a Xenoblade Chronicles game? I told you that I like JRPGs. Maybe I should be playing it.
Here's how, I'll answer it. As I was reading the story, I was remembering that I have Lawnmower Simulator on my Xbox, and I'm actually excited to play that because I want to play it on PC like you until I get my Steam Deck, but I do have it and I've downloaded it over there, so I'm excited to get into that as well.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Because it's just one of those things, like, I don't want to mow the lawn, but like, I want to see what this game's all about, and I want to see what like crazy lawnmowers are. You know what I mean? Like that's the chore I don't want.
That's where I wonder if they're on the right track here, because Power Wash Simulator, like actually power washing is genuinely fun to do.
Sure, yeah,
if you've ever used a power washer,
get this grime off the wall or off the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's so satisfying, and so the simulator is satisfying as well.
My dad at the old house, like way back in the day, we had an acre, right? And he would get out there and he would push mow. He would always push mow, even though he had a ride mow. He wanted to push it, and he would do those cross cuts of the grass. You know what I mean? And that was like when the checkerboard pattern.
Like, that looks awesome. Patterns, yeah.
Now, did I ever want to do that? No, of course not.
I don't like pushing a mower, and I've never lived in a part of America that's but there's enough like wide open space for this to be
your San Francisco
justified.
yard.
I would like to drive a mower, like one of those big riding mowers, like a big tractor, like a John Deere thing.
Sure.
I think I would quite enjoy doing that, and that I think is what
Grandma Miller's house.
Most of lawn mowing is not like pushing a mower around. It's like
Grandma Miller's house
riding on these big mowing Zamboni things.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that.
If you like Xenoblade Chronicles, congratulations on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming out soon.
I feel like we handled that topic very well, Greg. I think
did what we could.
Die-hard fans of Xenoblade Chronicles would be very pleased with the in-depth conversation we just had about it there.
Yeah, I think they would too, and I think that's what it is. And like, congratulations, it's there, and the girl from Doctor Who is going to be in it, and that's great. Her name's Coleman.
Well, I tell you what is good is that so she did it. You said she was in Xenoblade Chronicles 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I think is like before I think she became more famous after that. And oftentimes you'd be like, oh, I'm on Emmerdale now. I'm on Doctor Who. I'm too famous to be in your little video games. The fact that she's still doing it, I think, is pretty cool. Like she's not like got too big for it or something. I like that.
Yeah, I do. I like that too. Yeah. But yeah, I have no experience with Xenoblade Chronicles.
Is it big? Is it?
It's a big one. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
I've heard about it.
This is the one, right? It's impossible for me to check, but this was the one where like when we had Cisco come to E3 and he wanted to be a correspondent for us and we got him a badge. I was like, what games do you want to see? And this is when I knew, obviously I knew of Cisco, but I mean, like, I didn't know Cisco was like such a hardcore dork like us and like a very specific dork. And Xenoblade is what he put at the top of his list of things he's seen. I was like, damn, Cisco. All right, you're cool.
Fair play.
So, by no means are we talking shit about Xenoblade Chronicles, but you got to admit.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to front as like, oh, I'm a cool gamer, I'm into cool games.
Yeah.
I don't know if Xenoblade Chronicles is like what you would put out there, to cultivate 100%. Like a cool reputation. So if you're saying you're into it, it's not because you want to look cool, it's because you're genuinely into it.
Yeah. Number 3 on the Roper Report, Windjammers 2 has been announced for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and an open beta is beginning on PC and PlayStation. I'm going to read from the official press release. Publisher and developer Dotemu, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, Metal Slug Tactics, Streets of Rage 4, today announced Windjammer 2's radical showdowns are coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in addition to PC, Nintendo Switch, and Stadia. Players can join an open beta starting tomorrow, August 11th at 3 p.m. CEST, competing in electrifying matches until August 22nd on PS4, PS5, and PC via Steam, and begin their legacies in the coolest sport of all time.
You know who loves Windjammers more than anyone else?
Austin Creed.
Jared Petty.
I think Austin Creed likes it probably more than Jared.
Really? I mean, that would have to be a lot, because I was at PAX 2019. That was the last, in the before 4 times. Yeah. We were there, and Jared and I walked the show floor, and they had Windjammers 2 there as a playable build. Just as a side note, it seems like it's taken them a while to finish this game. I mean, they had a playable build of it at their booth at PAX 2019, so coming up for like 2 years now. And it's just now getting into like an open beta or something. So they're definitely, COVID and everything, we all make allowances. They've definitely taken their time over it. But I just remember when Jared saw Windjammers 2, he got very, very excited. He got me so excited, I bought a Windjammers 2 t-shirt because like his excitement for it was infectious.
So
he's a big fan of the original.
Did you like Windjammers 1? Had you played Windjammers?
I was
like the
aware,
Dave Lang, Giant Bomb, Jeff Gerstmann joke.
I was aware of it, but I didn't fully know what it was, and I don't think I've still ever played the original Windjammers. But I played. I just like saying. Did you remember we did a whole episode? I think it was you or Jared or someone that I hosted with. We did a whole episode where it was like, how many times can I say the word Windjammers?
Sure,
because it's just a really fun word to say. I think that's part of the reason why it's been a popular series of games. You just like saying it. Want to play some Windjammers?
Windjammers. Oh, let me continue with the news, though, okay?
Yeah, sorry about
that. No, don't be sorry about it. Hold on. I
thought you were done. I didn't realize there was. Oh
no, more there's. Details. Well, I mean, isn't there always more? You know how it is. Hold on.
Are you calling Jared?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, WWE Superstar Xavier Woods, a.k.a. host of the greatest YouTube channel, Up, Up, Down, Down, Austin Creed. How are you? You're on Kind of Funny Games Daily.
I am fantastic. How's everybody that's listening?
They're good. We didn't have much to say about Xenoblade Chronicles, so they either liked the joke or they didn't like the joke. I'm not sure. But now we're on to Windjammers. And here's the thing. Nice. So Windjammers 2 coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, beta, and all that stuff. Yeah. Are you the biggest Windjammers fan in the world?
I can't say. I know that for myself, I am an enormous Windjammers fan, but I don't know if there's somebody out there who has tattoos all over their body, who has their car wrapped in it, who has their room painted in Windjammers colors. I'm not sure, but I do love Windjammers.
I think you like it more than Jared Petty, and that's what Gary had brought to the table, is that Jared Petty
100%.
was... Okay, cool. Just making sure.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's got... I mean, Jared's great. He's great, but he's not like on Windjammers like I am.
No, of course not. No, he's over there playing like, CRT games. So, he's got to play all these old arcade things. He's sitting there playing Pong. He's reading about history. He's not playing Windjammers. He appreciates that you love it. You live it.
Yeah. And like I said, again, Jared's fantastic. But Windjammers, that's my realm.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right, bye.
Bye.
To be fair, Greg, I do feel like that you should also give Jared an opportunity to chime in here.
I did the exact
only
same
hearing
thing.
One side of the story, not exactly fair and balanced.
I did the same thing. Hold on. I am Greg Miller, and I am professional. So what I did is I texted both Austin and Jared and said, "Hey, can I call you right now?" Because on the air. Because of course, now that's more for Jared, as you know. It works at Google, so like there's a whole bunch of approvals. Anybody who has a real job when they leave us, it's hard to get them on shows necessarily. But also, as I have pointed out on this show, and I will point out again, remember everybody, Jared Petty has COVID right now. So you need to go to his Twitter. You need to go to his social media channels and tell him you love him and all this stuff. Because I hit him up yesterday about something on a show, and he responded like 7 hours later. He's like, "I've been sleeping all day," and I'm like, "I understand."
Yeah, he might feel like shit. Just calling him up is probably not.
And it's that thing of like, I don't want to call him up just to be like, "Hey, it turns out you're not the world's biggest Windjammers fan. Austin Creed is."
Hey, I know you can barely breathe right now, but let's talk about some bullshit video games. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Nobody wants that. All right, let me finish the news here. The open beta offers several playable characters, each with their own advantages. The agile and newbie-friendly Steve Miller, named after me. The well-balanced Biagi. The incredibly swift series newcomer Sophie DeLinz, and the now confirmed tank-like returning star Gary Scott. Novices and seasoned competitors.
Oh, I could be Gary Scott, and you could be Steve Miller.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there because of the names. Yeah. For a second, I thought you knew Gary Scott. I was like, wait.
No, I mean, you made a whole. Never mind.
There's a trailer too. Is all I'm going to say. That's all I was going to say. Don't you worry about it. All right.
There's a trailer.
Yeah. Athletes can face off in online ranked play across courts spanning a sandy beach, roaring stadium, rowdy ring, or a towering rooftop, complete with shot deflecting bumpers.
I just added this to my Steam wish list as well. Windjammers
2. The open beta allows PS5.
Steve Miller's British, so maybe I should be Steve Miller. According to this,
is Gary Scott American?
Well, I don't know. I'm finding out right now. Steve Miller is British. Hold on, I'm trying to get some more information here. Let me see.
Anyways, you can open beta allows PS5 and PS4 owners to go head to head, while Steam users can battle and conquer their own league. Blah blah blah. You know how the rest of it goes. Windjammers 2, radical power, disc flinging showdowns, yada yada yada. You know how Windjammers works.
Look, I gotta say, when I played it with Jared at PAX, I remember thinking, I get it. This could be really fun. It's also got that kind of 80s retro, which I get. I kind of feel like that's starting to kind of get a bit. We've done that now, but it does it very well. It looks a lot of fun. I think Windjammers could be a big. It's got like that. It's got like that 80s style animation in the cutscenes that looks like an old G.I. Joe cartoon.
Yeah,
they've done it very well. It looks good.
So it's just Pong, huh?
No, it's way more than that.
It's the evolution of the original arcade classic. Windjammer 2's radical power disc flinging showdowns pair approachable mechanics with subtle depth, offering an accessible competitive sport that's perfect for casual rounds as well as high-stake tournaments. Fluidly hand-drawn 2D animation converts the intense energy and emotion of matches into a beautiful spectacle, making Windjammers 2 a joy to both play and watch.
Hey, Greg, do you remember Vector Miller?
No.
All right.
Is that a person or is that a game?
It's a made-up person. We were playing one of these games that were similar to this.
Oh, like, IDAR, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. You know how I black out when I podcast or when I do this.
IDAR's fun too.
PD Pop-Off says, yes, Kevin, it's just Pong.
So. It looks great, though, right? Windjammers is fun.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah. Can we play? Oh, you know what? Full stop to the fucking show. Full stop, Gary. And I'm sorry. Gary, you're free to mute your fucking microphone if you want. Kevin, I love you. And you know that I love you, and you know that, like Santa, I come and go as I please, all right? Today's the day, motherfucker. Superman is officially in Fortnite. Means I got to get in there and grind out all these challenges. Are we fucking throwing down in Fortnite tonight?
Wait, hold on. Just so you know what you're signing up for. You have to get some, like, absurd amount of challenges. Like, me, Joey, Lauren, we're all ready to go. We got all our challenges pretty much done. It's going to be a couple weeks until we can actually earn them because we have to wait for more challenges to come. Are you going to do it? Because I've been saying to everyone, no way this loser
that's me
comes and does this. He's just going to be like, well, it's too much work.
Well, I mean, like
there it is.
No,
I rest my case.
I have all intent. I have all my. I'm turning it on, but when I read the quest, they didn't sound terrible today.
How much do you have to do to earn one of these costumes?
Kevin, we're gonna read through. This is now a breaking news. This is a news bulletin, whatever number on Superman. I'm on Polygon. I'm reading Polygons. This is Michael McWhorter. Kill Superman in Fortnite starting today. Fortnite Superman quests. Complete one quest from Clark Kent, Armored Batman, or Beast Boy. This unlocks the call to action emoticon. Complete 3 quests from Clark Kent, Armored Batman, or Beast Boy, unlocks the Superman shield spray. Complete 5 quests from Clark Kent, Armored Batman, or Beast Boy, unlocks the Clark Kent outfit. Glide through 3 rings as Clark Kent, unlocks the Daily Planet back bling. Use a phone booth as Clark Kent, Superman's powers return, suit up as Superman. Is that hard? None of that sounds hard. What are the quests like?
Oh, I thought, hold on, I gotta look into this because I saw this thing saying that, like, to access this stuff, you had to do a bunch of the epic quests.
That's if I want the black suit. Fortnite Superman Epic Quest. Complete Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 7 Epic Quest.
New rewards,
including the Shadow alt style for Clark Kent, Superman, and the set's accessories. In order, the Superman rewards unlocked are Kal-El's Cape Glider, a Superman banner, Last Son of Krypton loading screen, the Solitude Striker pickaxe, the Shadow variant of Clark Kent, the Daily Planet back bling, the late edition, the Superman cape. So it's all the black stuff. What's an Epic Quest? What's an Epic Quest like?
So they're just every week you get like 5 challenges that you have to do that are epic quests, and they're like very like random. Like, go to this place, pick up a phone. Go to this other place, kill this alien.
Okay.
Go to this thing, and so like that would take a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, but like shit, I don't know. If you talk to Mike,
it just sounds like a look at a busy work. Like, is that fun? Sounds like having a second job.
Well, the thing is,
full stop. And how much Pocket Camp did you play? I remember you playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk
Which
to me about
was just work so that you can get money, so that you can buy stuff that aren't real.
Yeah, and it's not even like you get. This is the thing that I
just move past what I said. That's fine.
Superman is coming to Fortnite, because if it was, it would be Superman with all the powers and everything. It's not. It's a Superman costume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Gary.
So I can dress up as Superman
Gary, for the
this
record,
game. I like.
Remember who I am. That I'm Greg Miller. And I, even with a headcanon, have to wrap my mind around things. It's why I don't play as Batman in Fortnite. It's why I play as Captain America in Fortnite. Because, of course, Captain America with an AK makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, Superman running around with an AK? Come on.
When I go through and do this, I will be playing primarily as Clark Kent. I will not be suiting up as Superman often because it looks stupid to have Superman running around in a cape. He's just running across the map.
With an AK-47, though. You see that all the time in the comics.
All the time. Well, he kind of looks like me. You know what I mean? It didn't shape me or whatever, but like, I'll take it. I'll do it.
It wasn't lost on me, by the way, that one of the things you have to do to get the Superman costume is fly through a bunch of rings. They must know what they're doing there, right?
100%.
That's deliberate. Yeah. Well played. Well played to him on that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is Kind of Funny Games Daily, and it's been a roller coaster ride already, but it's not even nearly over. So let me tell you instead about patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. Of course, you can go there to write in to be part of the show, to be a Patreon producer. Of course, you can get the post show we do there. And of course, you can get the show ad free. But guess what, Jack? You didn't go there. So let me tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Freshly. Dinner time can be chaotic, but with Freshly, it's easy. The chefs take care of your meals a few nights a week and take the pressure off of you. Cool Greg knows all about this. He's been getting Freshly. He's been loving it. Doesn't need to cook anything. He just gets it served here. He opens it and he's eating fantastic stuff. He was telling me all about this sausage baked penne, and I was like, man, that sounds good. It sounds damn good. Freshly offers quality meals without the hard work of prepping, cooking, and cleaning. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door. No cooking required. Ordering is easy. You just go to freshly.com and choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like steak, peppercorn, the sausage-baked penne I was talking about, or the chicken pesto bowl. Right now, Freshly is offering you guys $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/games. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/games for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/games for $40 off your first 2 orders.
See, and that's how you know, ladies and gentlemen, I read the subreddit and I listen. I had seen a comment of like, the guy's got to stop saying, let me tell you about our sponsors, and it's somebody else. I tried there. I will get it beat out of my system eventually. But now here's a word from our sponsors. Not let me tell you about our sponsors, but I'll get there. Number 4 on the Roper Report. PAX Australia has been canceled. We'll read from their website. It is with a heavy heart today that we announced the postponement of PAX Australia 2021. At the start of the year, we were optimistic that we'd all be able to come together in person this October. We've been working hard with our partners and exhibitors to deliver the best possible version of PAX Aus 2021. Do they say Australia or do they say Aus? Because they keep writing AUS, Gary, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how you say it, but yeah, they've had it in that shortened form.
I'm gonna keep saying Australia because I don't like saying Aus. Somebody let me know.
It sounds douchey.
If there's a kangaroo out there, tell me. You know what I'm saying, Gary?
A kangaroo.
They would know how to say, oh, it doesn't matter. But due to the ongoing impact of COVID-19 in Australia, the next edition of PAX Aus will now take place in 2022. Our thoughts are with the PAX community and everyone who helps us to deliver this incredible event each year. The aim of PAX Australia has always been to provide a safe space for our community to gather, share our passion for games, and create new memories with those who matter to us most. The fact that we can't do so in person at PAX Australia 2021 has left us all heartbroken, but it's the right choice for our community, team, and partners to postpone this year's show and look to the future. Like last year, we're still planning to bring our community together with PAX Australia Online. Stay tuned to our social media channels over the coming days as we announce more info on that soon. For those of you who purchased tickets to PAX Australia 2021, we'd like to remind you that you're entitled to a full refund. You will be receiving specific information about that within the next 7 days. To the entire PAX Australia team, the entire PAX Australia team would like to thank you for your ongoing support and understanding during this challenging time. While we can't all come together in person this year, we urge you all to continue to stay in touch with us, your community, and each other. Stay safe and be kind. The PAX Australia team. The right call, right, Gary?
Yeah, I mean it's a bummer, right? You know, Delta is fucking everything up right now. I remember this time last year saying that it wasn't even that optimistic. It just felt realistic. I think by next summer we'll be out of this, right? That seems feasible. Yeah. No, look, we're still right in it, and it's a big old mess, and it's not just an American problem, although it is particularly bad here. It continues to be a global problem. I'm guessing they whether it's Delta or they must have had some kind of spike or wave or surge or flare up in Australia recently. And again, if they cancel something in Australia, you know it's no fucking joke, because those people are on the verge of, you know, apocalypse every minute, whether it's fucking wildfires or deadly spiders or snakes or plagues of mice. Like fucking they put up with so much shit out there, and they're tough, breeds very tough people in Australia, because everything is constantly trying to kill you all the time in Australia. And so if they cancel an event, they're not fucking around. It's a huge bummer. I'm supposed to be going to Silicon, which is the San Jose comic convention that Adam Savage now does at the end of this month. I just literally had emails going back and forth between me and the convention people this week saying, what's going? Are you still doing it? They still want me to go. I'm gonna have to wear a mask. I have a 9-year-old kid at home who can't be vaccinated. So even after I get home, I'm gonna have to isolate. If I can't, we still can't do anything. Like everything is so fucked up right now, and I don't know what the solution is. Maybe next summer. But it's just incredibly depressing. It'd be really interesting to see how PAX West next month goes, right? Because they're still doing that. They're still going to try to put that on in Seattle. I'm not exactly sure what their COVID mitigation policies are for that. I think they are requiring vaccinations.
They are requiring vaccines,
as they should,
or a negative COVID test within whatever. I'm speaking out my ass there, but it's within a certain time period. Yeah, they are requiring all that. And
yeah, so it's heartbreaking. All the different, not just obviously the fact that millions of people have died and are suffering, but just the day-to-day mental health toll that just none of us can even think about living a normal life right now. It's awful, and I just can only hope that by next year, we'll start to see some light at the end of the tunnel. But it's just so depressing to think that I think me and a lot of people believed that surely we'd be out of this by now, but fuck, we're not even close.
Sure, I think it's this, the extra heartbreak of, the fact that, at least here in the United States, the vaccine being so readily available, and for a while there, for what felt like a couple of months, right? It seemed like we really were like, okay, cool, don't wear a mask, you're vaccinated, yada yada yada, it's gonna be fine. And then all this Delta stuff started up, let alone Lambda and all the other stuff that's going on with that. So
yeah,
we will continue to monitor that situation. Yes, it will be interesting to see what PAX West is, of course. I'm right there with you, right? With Jen being pregnant and our immune system, being non-existent, right? Like, I'm not doing anything. We've been canceling stuff left and right and really going back into lockdown for a personal level, which of course is, a small price to pay, but totally sucks when we were feeling like we were, right there out of it, going to, dinners, being inside, doing maskless stuff again. And now like, all right, cool. Well, I'm just going to ride this out and not go that way, but totally sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And remember, everybody, if you're here in the United States, get vaccinated. If you are age 12 or older and haven't yet been vaccinated, you can text your zip code to 438829 to get a free vaccine near you. In many locations, no appointment is needed, and you can even get a free ride there and back with Uber or Lyft.
They have these mobile trucks now in the city, Greg, in San Francisco. They'll come to your house with a truck and stick you with a needle in the comfort of your own home. Or I guess you go in the back of a truck or whatever you do, but they'll come to you. They're really doing everything they can to try, make it convenient for people.
Oh yeah. Kangaroo wrote into You're Wrong. It says it is in fact Australia. Say Australia. So I said Australia. Number 5 on the Roper Report. There's going to be a Nindie World tomorrow. I'm reading Nintendo's tweet. A new Indie World showcase arrives on August 11th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Tune in for roughly 20 minutes of information on upcoming indie games heading to Nintendo Switch. So that's exciting. Who doesn't like some games on your Switch? New stuff, Gary. Fun.
I like my Switch. I like playing games on my Switch. New games on Switch equals thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And of course, there's an ID at Xbox thing that's been going on while we've been live with a whole bunch of indie games there as well. But for your final Roper Report news story, number 6, we have some Mario Brothers movie casting news. This is Marc Kaliroff over at NintendoWire. There has been a lot of secrecy surrounding Illumination's upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie with Nintendo, yet new information may have finally just leaked by accident. Italian comedian and actor Sebastian Maniscalco was recently on an episode of the Bertcast where he claimed that later that day he was going to be recording lines for the character Foreman Spike in the Super Mario Brothers movie later after the show. As he says, Spike is, quote, their boss, and not to be confused with the standard Spike throwing Koopa enemy, unless said enemy has gotten a promotion. For those unaware, Foreman Spike is the foreman of the demolition site featured in the game Wrecking Crew. In the game, Mario and Luigi both work under Spike. However, he always attempts to hinder their job. Spike made his first appearance as a rival where he could compete with Mario in the bonus stages for coins. I've never heard of this guy in my life.
That sound you hear, Greg, is an NDA shattering.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I mean, that's funny. We have 2 of those from actors on this, right? Where it's just like, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles is getting another game. But didn't people know that? And then here we go. Yeah, okay, cool. Of course,
It's funny because like writers and other people that work behind the scenes on movies, like I don't know how many NDAs I've signed in the last year, probably more than 50. Like, so there's so many. When you work in this business, you're under so many NDAs at any given time. And, you respect them, right? Like, there's so much shit that I don't say because I'm NDA'd on it. Actors don't give a fuck. They just go on like, a talk show and go, oh, yeah, I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. And there's never any fucking consequences. Isn't Tom Holland, like, notorious for this? just going
yeah.
on talk shows and like blabbing out super secret Marvel details. If I did that, I'd never work for Marvel or Disney again. But because he's like, big famous movie star, like they can't just sack him.
Well,
They
he's
just slap
Spider-Man.
him
What are
on
you
the
going to
wrist.
do?
They just slap him on the wrist. Yeah.
They make a joke out of it. Well, I'm sure he's been punished somehow, but yeah, I mean, it's just a joke about it.
Didn't
they
he do
use
it
to reveal
once by accident, and then it became a gimmick to have him like playfully do it?
I thought he did it twice by accident, and then it became the gimmick. But it
Well,
could
two
have been.
I
times too
think
many,
what they might have to
Greg.
start doing is what they used to do with Dave Prowse on the Star Wars movies, is just start feeding him wrong information.
Sure.
So that so he can he can say all the shit that he wants, but he's not actually leaking anything that's real.
Who's Dave Prowse?
Dave Prowse played Darth Vader in the Star Wars
The
movies,
body,
so-
the body of Darth
Yeah,
Vader.
yeah, I know that part. Yeah. James Earl Jones, the voice, I know that. Yeah. Or Hayden Christensen, as we all know, the one and only Darth Vader in my mind.
There was that other guy too, the old man, when they remove his face.
Oh, that wasn't the guy.
No, that was a different guy. They apparently they supposedly shot Dave Prowse, and then the acting was not very good. So
Same thing, right? Where they did his whole voice, and then he went to see it, and then he turns out James Earl Jones
Yeah.
like that dub.
I mean, how good would you how good would you expect someone to act after they've been shot? To be fair to him,
When did he get shot?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kevin just said they shot Dave Prowse and the acting wasn't very good.
Okay, sorry.
Fucking
All right,
Gary.
all right.
You know what?
got
Jokes
it,
are
you know
always.
what I
I
mean?
appreciate that because jokes
You
are always
got
funnier
it.
when you have to explain them. So thank you for that.
Well,
Well, I'm sorry that we're professional.
you
We
started with the
understand
whole
what
highbrow
shot
jokes.
When he said he got shot, we understood what that
Yeah.
meant. We're Hollywood people here, Gary. All right.
Oh, you are okay. I'm
writing
among my own
playbooks over
kind here.
there.
We're all
You write
we're all
some
Hollywood
funny
hoi
books. You think
polloi.
you know everything. You know what I mean?
All right,
I've had
okay.
enough of
Funny
this.
books.
I haven't
Gary,
seen you at I haven't
That's
seen you at
Star
Soho
Wars
House
movie.
lately, Greg. You can't be that Hollywood.
let me tell you, I
I'm
don't
there
even know
all
what
the
that
time.
fuck that is, so don't worry about it. Gary, I'm excited to Google what Soho House is after this, but that's so far away. If I wanted something more immediate, say what came to the mom and grop shops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software on each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts, each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today. Ever Forward is on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox all around. Button City is on PlayStation 5, Xbox, Series X and S, Switch, and PC. You can hear Jen and I talk about it on PS I Love You XOXO today. Shadowverse Champions Battle is on Switch. Super Hiking League DX is on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Godfall is on PS4, which is news, but then also Godfall Fire and Darkness, which is their expansion, is now available on Epic Game Store, PS4, and PS5. Untitled Darkness is on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. Black Book is on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Action Arcade Wrestling is on PS4, Xbox One. Lawn Mowing Simulator, the game Gary and I dream about, is
Yeah,
on
I
Xbox
told you. I just installed that.
PC. Mech Armada is on PC. Carrier Command 2 is on PC and Mac. Patron is on PC. At Rio, The Dark Wild is on PC. There's a Red Dead Online thing here. Gunslingers on either side of the law can now dive into Red Dead Online's new survival-based mode called Arms, where they'll defend locals against waves of incoming enemies in towns and holdouts such as Blackwater, Strawberry, McFarland's Ranch, and others, with additional rewards for playing this week as well. Also debuting this week is the Cornwall Contract, a high-stakes robbery of one of the richest men in the 5 states, Leviticus Cornwall, as well as the Quick Draw Club #2, featuring a host of special bonuses and rare items. Arashi, Castles of Sin by Endeavor 1 launches today on PlayStation VR. New dates for you. Tormented Souls, the survival horror video game, is launching Friday, August 27th for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam for $19.99. Hell Architect is coming to PC August 18th, and Cookie Clicker comes to Steam on September 1st after 8 years of development. Lord Almighty. Gary, we asked people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. For everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, and listening on podcast services around the globe. Mikey O writes in and says, The Name Game is a 1964 Shirley Ellis R&B song that hit number 3 on Billboard's Hot 100 and performed on shows such as American Bandstand and The Merv Griffin Show. It wasn't written as a kid's song, but the fun and silly nature of its lyrics and upbeat tempo became something kids latched onto. And in the 1980s, recordings with children began releasing. Its success likely helped lead to the creation of Kids Bop.
The more you know.
There you go. The
What a
nanobiologist.
random fact.
It's what we needed to know, though. Nanobiology writes in and says, regarding SOC's stake on Activision Blizzard, they are one of 3 investor groups invested in Activision Blizzard. The other 2 filed a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard for not actively disclosing the issues at the company. Their stake is suspected to be pretty minor overall. Thank you. And then KDG writes in and says, Sebastian Shaw was the original face of Anakin/Vader in Return of the Jedi. Anybody want to argue that? I don't even know.
Sorry, what was the last part there? Say that again about Return of the Jedi?
It was Star Wars stuff.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Shaw.
Don't forget Sebastian Shaw, who played him with the helmet off at the end of Return of the Jedi. That's right. Before he got, changed out when the special edition changes.
No, he was without the helmet. Oh, you're talking about the ghost. Yeah.
No, yeah, for the scene on the Death Star, it was Sebastian Shaw, but then the Force Ghost, they changed it back to Hayden Christensen. That's right.
Evan Bacon.
Can't wait to see him in the new Ewan
Kevin
McGregor Obi-Wan show,
You excited about that, Greg?
Yeah, of course. Ewan McGregor's great. He's great in everything he does.
Yeah, so, I only found out the other day he's married to Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I didn't know that.
No.
She
really?
seems a lot younger.
Yeah, how much younger is she than him?
Yeah, you never see that in Hollywood.
Never, Gary.
God.
Is this something you talk about at the Soho Club? You ever do like, let's call this Soho Club meeting to order? Why are all these old guys dating super young people? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Kind of Funny Games. Gary and I somehow aren't done. We're going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames to record that there post show y'all love and appreciate. Of course, if you're sticking around on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, Mike, Nick, and Bruce are about to play some Split Gate for you. If you want to catch that later, you can go to our newest YouTube channel, youtube.com/kindoffunnyblaze. If you are saying, I don't want to watch any of that or any of the on-demand stuff or whatever, you can catch another episode of Kind of Funny Games daily tomorrow when it'll be Janet and Blessing. Thursday, it'll be me and Tim. Friday, it will be Blessing and Greg. Gary, we have stuff to do over on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where everybody can go to get the show ad free, yada, yada, yada. They can watch the Kind of Funny podcast this afternoon. But before we say goodbye, is there anything you want to tell the kids?
No.
Vegetables.
You get vaccinated.
There you go.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.